When e-readers first came out, I thought they were dumb because why would I spend money to buy a black and white device in the year of our Lord 2009, I think it was 2009, just for one function? That would be like buying a calculator, but worse because it's more expensive, right? And then I used it for the first time and then I was sold. I've been reading more than ever before. I do not go anywhere without my e-reader. So when these types of products started popping up, and this is basically a large size e-reader with stylus support. Do we still call something like this a stylus? Sounds archaic now, doesn't it? Anyway, this is the eNote by Panstar. I was familiar with this product, this one specifically in this, let's call it subgenre of e-readers. Large size e-readers designed for taking notes. So I think it's very interesting. There are some things, some design decisions that seem strange to me, and I want to tell you about them, but I was blown away by how pleasurable an experience it is to read on something like this. So let's take a closer look at this thing. Now, I feel like it would be fair to just open with the things that I wasn't a huge fan of. Some decisions, like I said, that seem unusual to me, and maybe if this thing gets a sequel, which I hope it does, it's great when new companies come in and try to offer new stuff, right? So this is why this really caught my eye. I'm always on, I mean, I'm a Kobo guy instead of a Kindle, so that should say something, right? Anyway, this thing doesn't have a light, so you cannot read it in the dark. In my opinion, this is a bit of a strange decision. I do a lot of my reading at night before going to bed. I think it's a healthier alternative to doom scrolling. So that's a feature I don't get with something like this. It also doesn't have a conventional touch screen. Now, the screen detects touches with this thing, and they give you two, which I appreciate. Since you're only really interacting with the screen with this thing, it makes sense that they would offer you a spare. I appreciate that. The cover is magnetic. It has these little nubs right here that line up with these slots, and then the magnets do the rest. Because you have to align these just so, attaching this back is not quite as simple as like with an iPad, for example, but you know. I wonder if they put those little nubs there because they feel like this offers more stability. Because yeah, with an iPad, if you tug this thing a little harder, you know, you got two pieces in your hands. So there's that. No light, and the touch really is not like the kind of touchscreen that you're used to. That can be a good or a bad thing because I hate handling my Kobo, touching the screen accidentally and skipping pages. It's a minor issue, but it still bothers me. And with this thing, I'm holding this with a lot less, like, you know what I mean? I don't have to be constantly making sure that I have my thumb right on the bezel so I don't accidentally, I like that, you know? Be careful not to lose your little pen there, but if you do, they got you covered with a spare anyway, so nice job. It also has a, the back here is basically an eraser. So when you take notes, you can just go over and go like this, and it erases the note you made. Nice touch. It really makes you feel like you're actually using pen and paper, which I appreciate. Loading books onto this thing is not quite as straightforward as I would have liked because, and this is probably my own ineptitude here, but when I plugged it into my Mac, I couldn't get it to work quite right. I just got a Mac and I'm still learning the ropes, so this is probably on me. I decided to try the Wi-Fi transfer and it worked flawlessly. Way better than any other type of Wi-Fi transfer I've ever tried, be it with tablets or e-readers or emulation devices. I never liked the Wi-Fi transfer method because I have bad experiences with it. Seems like they figured it out because this is flawless and painless. It was so fast that I thought, you know how this works, right? Like usually these devices, they have an IP number. You go on your browser, you type that IP, and then you are supposed to load into the directories, and then you can just drag and drop. With every other device, there's always some friction. I can never quite get it to work. There's a lot of random disconnects. This worked perfectly. Maybe because books aren't that big, and then I don't have to keep that connection open as long. That might be a factor. Either way, once you get the books on this thing, they don't just load up on the home screen like with my Kobo. So I had to figure it out. You have to go into your bookshelf, then go into your books, then go into Wi-Fi transfer, open the books, they will show up on your thing then. So there's that. It has buttons here, physical buttons, which I appreciate because in the years that I've had my Kobos that I had to, you know, tap the screen or like do the little motion there, sometimes it doesn't do that, like it doesn't register. Sometimes you had it accidentally. Physical buttons for page turns, I'm sold. This makes the reading experience on this way more comfortable than I'm used to with the Kobo. And it's so impossibly thin and light. It feels like you're holding a magazine. And of course, part of the way they achieved that is the fact that this thing doesn't have a backlight or a conventional touch screen. So you win some, you lose some, is what I'm trying to say. You can take notes, which I imagine is primarily why somebody would want a device like this as opposed to a conventional e-reader. And honestly, the note-taking function works so well. I'm jealous of somebody who is like going to school right now and could have something like this, like all of your books and your notebook in one device like this. The battery lasts forever, but that's expected with an e-reader, right? So this thing feels like a dream. Like it's a great reading experience. It's so light. The screen is nice and big, so you can get a bunch of information on the page. Books that have illustrations, for example, I'm reading A City on Mars. I was doodling on you see that? The dinosaur there. Anyway, it's amazing. It's like just looking down at it and seeing like that crisp contrast between the white background and the typeface. It's like looking at paper. Because I have the latest Kobo Clara color, and like most color e-readers, the contrast is really low. The back of the page is never quite as white as this. It's slightly gray, so contrasted against black typeface, right? This is black on white. So it looks way better, especially under direct sunlight. Who cares about a light, right? Look at this. It's an amazing device. I'm enjoying this way more than I thought I would. Like I said, despite its flaws, the reading experience is incredibly comfortable. The physical buttons are cool. I noticed that out of the box, they don't have it set up so that if you turn the device, the interface rotates to accommodate the new position. And I thought that was an odd decision. I looked around in the system settings and I turned it on. But then I think I understand why they have that off now. Because it's very annoying to have the text turn on you when you accidentally like reposition yourself on your couch or in a bed or whatever, and then it rotates. Because the refresh rate on a screen like this is slower, it's like it always takes a second. So like I find that annoying enough when it happens on my iPad, which responds faster. So maybe this is why this is turned off by default. I don't know. Maybe I'll ask them and I'll update the video when I'm editing. But it can be turned on if you would like to have that. So it's cool because if you're holding this with your left hand, which is the standard for the device, and then you rotate it and you have it reorient itself, and then you're using the buttons here to turn the pages, the functions occupy consistent positions. So like whatever function you assigned for the top button here, when you flip this over, this top button has that function. Really smart, right? The round button here is always back, but you can reconfigure the buttons to your choosing, so that's kind of cool. In conclusion, the eNote from Panstar is a joy to use. Like I said, it has some flaws. Oh, one thing I didn't mention, it has a reading function that I hadn't seen in e-readers before. Mine never had anything like this, where you turn it on and then it actually reads the book for you, albeit with an AI voice. So I know some people will be, won't appreciate that as much, but yeah, right here, there's a little button saying listen, and then you just tap on that, and then you start.
The asteroid belt contains over 2 sextillion kilograms worth of stuff, metals, carbon.
How to turn that off. So if you'd like to have your books read to you, they got you covered too. Anyway, I'm loving this thing. I honestly thought I was gonna, make the videos for the channel and then, who needs 2 e-readers, right? But I'm keeping this thing. I love this. And honestly, and this is a very minor thing, very insignificant thing, but it's classy. Honestly, I wish there were more options for covers. I don't think they offer that. This one is okay. It'd have been nice to have different ones, right? But this feels premium and classy, elegant. Like I would love, honestly, this makes me feel like I was going to school. Like I would have all my books here and it'd be awesome. Anyway, this is the eNote by Panstar. I'll leave the links and everything down there in case you want to give this guy a try. But yeah, what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Wow, I missed making videos like this. That's it, everybody. I'm Izzy and I'm done.